Remember when the customer was king? Now, according to many accounts, customers are largely taken for granted, and the result is often poor or substandard service. Is customer service really at an all-time low? And what can be done to restore customer service to its proper level? Stay tuned to find out.
This is a special edition of Nightly Business Report. Whatever happened to customer service? With Paul Kangas, Susie Garrett, and the Nightly Business Report team.
Of course, other companies have also become known for exceptional customer service, and one man who's made a specialty of writing about them is Robert Spector, co-author of The Nordstrom Way and author of Amazon.com Get Big Fast. And glad to have you on the program tonight.
Hi, Susie.
As you wrote in your book that Nordstrom has a reputation for excellence in customer service. What is the secret to their success?
Well, if you boil the Nordstrom system down to its essence, down to the one sentence that makes Nordstrom different than most other companies, is that they give the people on the sales floor, i.e. the people on the front lines, the freedom to make decisions. And importantly, besides that, management backs up those decisions. That's really what separates Nordstrom from the pack.
Please welcome Mr. Robert Spector. Robert?
Thank you. Well, good afternoon. I'm the last guy between lunch and tea time. I'd like to get a little show of hands, if you could help me out. How many people had heard of Nordstrom before they came into the room today? Okay. And how many people have actually shopped in a Nordstrom store? Okay. And finally, how many people have heard that Nordstrom gives great customer service? Thank you. You know, the interesting thing is that Nordstrom has never run an ad. They've never sent out a press release saying, we give great customer service. Yet everybody knows about it, not only here in the United States, but literally around the world. And today I'm going to tell you a little bit about how they did it. And I'm going to concentrate a lot on the people and on the commitment of the company in terms of customer service and providing it for a luxury market. You know, one of the principles of the Nordstrom Way is Nordstrom wants to hire nice, motivated people. Now you're probably thinking, well, who doesn't want to hire nice, motivated people, right? This is not brain surgery. We all want to hire nice, motivated people, but the difference is Nordstrom wants to be already nice and already motivated before they come working at Nordstrom. Because they don't believe you can take somebody who's not nice and make them nice. If there anybody in this room who's been able to do that, you know, please share this with the group, right? You know, it strictly can't be done. So Nordstrom would rather hire a nice person and teach him how to sell than hire a salesperson and teach him how to be nice. And the corollary of that is hire the smile, train the skill. Hire the smile, train the skill. I once asked Bruce Nordstrom, the retired chairman of the company, I said, well, really, who trains your salespeople, Bruce? And his answer was, their parents do. Their parents do. When a person comes to work at Nordstrom, right in front of each of them at a table is the Nordstrom Employee Handbook. It's my one visual that I brought today, the Nordstrom Employee Handbook. And I'll read to you what it says. Again, this is for every new employee. It says, welcome to Nordstrom. We're glad to have you with our company. Our number one goal is to provide outstanding customer service. Set both your personal and professional goals high. We have great confidence in your ability to achieve them. Nordstrom rules. Rule number one, use your good judgment in all situations. Use your good judgment in all situations. There will be no additional rules. And there's a concluding paragraph. Please feel free to ask your department manager, store manager, or division general manager any question at any time. Period. The end. Nordstrom feels that the more rules you have, the farther and farther away you get from the customer. Then the rules become the most important thing and not the customer. Not too long ago, my wife and I were vacationing, and I had some business in Southern California. We flew into LAX, and I rented a car there, and did some business in Los Angeles, and then we drove down to the Ritz-Carlton in Laguna Niguel. I'm sure many of you have been there. You know, it's a terrific hotel. So my wife and I are driving around in our rental car in Laguna Beach, and the icon for the engine lights up on the dashboard. Now, honestly, I don't know a whole lot about cars, but I know this is probably not a good thing. So I consult the owner's manual, and it says, if this happens, contact your dealer. So the following morning, I call up the rental car agency and explain the situation to them. And the gentleman on the other end says, fine, drive the car back up to John Wayne Airport and we'll get you a new car. Hey, what is that about? You know, I said, first of all, we know there's something wrong with the engine of the car, and you want me to get on the freeway and drive 45 minutes. Now, I want you to bring me a new car to the hotel. I mean, I'm staying at the Ritz-Carlton, for crying out loud. You know, I'm not going to ruin my vacation on this. So the guy says, no, we can't do that. You know, there's a rule against that. So I said, let me speak to your manager, your supervisor. So she gets on the phone, and I tell her the same story, and, you know, she does not want to give me a new car either. So now I have to bring out the big gun, the nuclear weapon I saved just for moments like this. I say, look, I wrote this book about customer service, and I get to speak to businesses all over the country. And I tell them good stories and bad stories, and if you don't get me a new car, I'm going to name names. So 45 minutes later, I get a new car. Now, please feel free to use this line because it gets tremendous results. We as customers, we don't care about the policy or the bureaucracy or the rules. We just want somebody to take care of us. That's all it is. And a company like Nordstrom is there to take care of you. The best people at Nordstrom want to put their arms around you and never let you go. You know, Nordstrom does not believe it's in the shoe business or the clothing business or the cosmetics business. They're in the customer service business. And they're looking to hire those nice, motivated people to take care of the nice people who come in to see them. So if you've got nice, motivated people, people who are empowered, people who don't have to worry about rules, and people who are there to create their own business, then you've got a Nordstrom in the making.
In the jungle that is the internet, Amazon.com is king. The company's take-no-prisoners approach to e-commerce has made it not only e-tail's biggest success story today, but also makes it the model to follow for the future. But for all the media exposure, the inside story on Amazon is just hitting bookshelves. In Amazon.com, Get Big Fast, author Robert SPECTOR takes apart the e-commerce phenom, its founder, its foul-ups, and its future. Now, do you think that he deserved Times Man of the Year? I mean, is he the poster child for this net age, or was it just sort of the hype machine in full effect?
Well, I think the answer is yes to both of those things. Yes, it is part of the hype machine, but part of the Amazon strategy was making Jeff Bezos the poster boy for internet commerce, and he is the most recognizable face for electronic commerce, and that was part of the strategy. Because there would only be one person, there wouldn't be two, and they wanted to make sure that one person was Jeff Bezos.
Amazon.com, it's a story about the stock market, it's a story about venture capital, it's a story about the internet, but it's also a story about customer service, particularly in the early days. One of the things that they wanted to do to create this customer service experience was hire smart people to give good customer service. Now, one of the advantages of Seattle is that we have a large population of overeducated, underemployed people in their 20s. I'd say there's probably more people like that in Seattle per capita than any place that I can think of. And a lot of them went to work at Amazon.com in customer service. You had to have at least a BA to go to work for Amazon.com in customer service. And a lot of the people in those early days had master's degrees, and one guy I spoke to had a PhD in Middle Eastern studies, which is the perfect preparation for customer service on the internet, as far as I can tell. Now, they wanted to create a great experience on the website because Jeff understood early on that the web was not about just selling stuff. It was about creating a transaction with people. And that he wanted to make the idea of being on the Amazon.com website a good experience. And for those of you who are early users of Amazon.com, this is what the website looked like back in about 1996. Notice there are not a whole lot of graphics involved here. You know, there's one book for something called Red Hot Mamas. But again, they wanted to make it very simple, very easy to download. I mean, you know, from there you wouldn't think a revolution would take place. Early on, they decided they were going to be like Nordstrom, that whatever it would take to take care of the customer, that's what they would do. You know, get big fast, meaning that there was only going to be one company that people were going to know about when it came to internet commerce. They were going to make sure that Amazon.com was going to be that company. Books were only a means to an end at Amazon. Mary Meeker, who's a well-known financial analyst, said that we're going to see now that books were the Trojan horse for Amazon.com. You know, books were just a means to an end. You know, the guy loves books, but as I said before, books are not his passion. Books are not the reason that he got into this business. He got into this business to create something that could be closely akin to the Walmart of the Internet. There are only going to be a few companies left standing after all the dust settles. And I predict that Amazon.com will be one of them. Whether this all works or not, I do not know. I take a neutral position on this. You know, I interviewed a lot of smart people. Some of them say this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Others say this is a house of cards about to fall. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to figure this one out on my own. I do believe very strongly that the retailers that are going to succeed are going to have a combination of a virtual presence and a literal presence as a brick and mortar store.
When you look at Nordstrom and you look at Amazon, what is the common ingredient? I mean, what is the lesson that companies can learn from both of these?
Well, I think companies like Nordstrom, as well as a Charles Schwab or a Southwest Airlines or Continental Airlines, is that it has to be a 100% top-to-bottom commitment on the part of management that they're not in the apparel business or the online book business. They're in the customer service business. And that's what most companies don't understand. They figure that they just sell their product. What you're doing, you got to take care of that precious customer. You do whatever it takes to take care of the customer.
So what would you say, and we just have a few seconds left, what is the biggest mistake that companies commonly make vis-a-vis treating their customers?
The biggest mistake is that they don't value the customer. And customers are willing to put up with a faux pas and bad service if you can make it up to them. Then you will have a customer for life.
You are absolutely right about that. Thank you so much for coming and talking to us this evening.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And we've been speaking with Robert Spector, the author of The Nordstrom Way and Amazon.com. Get Big Fast.